welcome to the live stream. This should be a fun one. I think making sure everything's good here. I think we're looking good. What's up, guys? Welcome to another Texas Redfish Hunter live stream. Today we are going to be going through tournament recap. We're going to answer some questions. Should be a fun day. I've got a very long story about my tournament that I think you guys would be pretty interested in. So that's going to happen today too. So I'm going to post this on Facebook, the link, because some people have trouble finding the live stream, so it's a lot easier to just share the link on Facebook. Post to Facebook. Alrighty, that's on Facebook, so now everyone should be able to get in here. So let's say hello to everyone. Lawson, Slidell, Louisiana, what's up? That's a nice little area. I know IFA fishes there quite a bit. Ruben Cisneros, lit. He is lit. What's up, Tristan? GTA 5 Daily Gamer. What's up, man? I don't think I've seen you in a live stream before, but what's up? Jay Sias, finally made one. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate you stopping by. GTA 5, I am in Houston, Texas, but I fish all along the Texas coast usually. I try to, at least, as much as possible. What's up, Dustin? What's up, John Kellner? Tony Rivera, what's up, man? Balderrama Villa Jr. Big Drew, I finally got out of work early and able to catch the stream. Well, thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you got out of work early. That's pretty awesome. Tony Rivera, did you get the picture I sent you on the tarpon? I did. I definitely did. That is a monster tarpon. I didn't respond to it. I do apologize, but I did get that picture. That is very, very cool. Ruben, watching from work. What's up, Ruben? Getting paid to watch. That's pretty awesome. Christopher, hi. What's up, man? Easy Eye, what's up? Charlie Bon Jovi, hello. What's up, man? Marcus Ball, greetings from League City, not too far from me. What's up, man? Deer Slayer's back. What's up, man? Glad to have you back in here. One of the daily guys. GTA 5 is in Victoria, Texas. You're right in the middle between, Rockport and Galveston. You can go pretty much anywhere to fish. Ruben, might be your last day. LMAO, just kidding. Nick Norad, what's up? Tyler Shope, what's up, man? Joey Allinger, what's up? How's it going? Christopher Doyle, you ever fish Seawolf Park? I do not fish Seawolf Park. It is crowded, and I don't like fishing in crowds. Alberto, what's up, Drew? I missed the last one, but I'm not missing this one. Well, thanks for stopping by on this one. Eric De La Garza, what's up? Pedro Vega, what's up? What's up, man? Christopher Doyle, what city do you live in? I currently live in Houston, Texas. Much love, Drew. Love the channel, man. Thanks, Balderrama, or Baldemar Villa Jr. I butcher names. Tommy Castillo, what's up, man? How's your rod treating you? Have you gotten it slimy yet? Have you put the Cora rod to the test? GTA 5 Daily Gamer. Ever fished in Port O'Connor? I have, but it was from a boat at the jetty. I don't fish there very often, but I really should because there's some good fish that come out of there. Saw your video on freshwater fishing. Yeah, I did do some freshwater fishing this past week because of all the rain. Got some drag screaming action. That's always a good thing, so that's what I was doing that for. Any bass there? No. Well, there are, and there's some good bass in there. I've caught 5-pounders in there, but they're so few and far between that I could go out there and fish for 5 hours and catch 2 fish, and to me it's really not worth it. AWOL Paul, finally made a live stream. Loved watching you dive after your rod. Thanks for making a live stream, man. Thanks for watching, and I'm glad I could make you laugh again. What's up, Drew? Cora busy again? Yeah, she's I think walking around right now doing some workout stuff, so she might stop by here in a little bit and say what's up. Have you ever fished Lower Laguna Madre? I actually grew up fishing Lower Laguna Madre, so I'm very aware of that area. Nick Norad, fishing in Port A was tough this past weekend. Fishing, it was, with after all the rain, it does get a little bit tough. But I'll talk about more about that when we get into like my tournament stories and stuff. Willie W, like what you do, keep it up, thanks. I appreciate it, man. Chris, good to see you, and good to see a break in the rain. Yes, sir, definitely very true to see a break in the rain. It did storm pretty bad here today again, and it doesn't look like it's going to be much better. We might get like 2 days this next week that are going to be free and clear. Pedro Vega, tried topwater for the first time last weekend, and I fell in love with it. Believe me, Pedro, and it's easy to fall in love with a topwater, and it's really hard to put down once you get your couple blow-ups. So yeah, definitely happens. Man, those were some nice fish. Sucks you missed the weigh-in. Good vid on retrieve technique. Thanks, Deer Slayer. Look forward to the weekly live stream. Corey, I'm going to start doing it every other week. Maybe I'll throw in every week, but maybe 3 a month. I'm going to try to do 3 a month. That's kind of where I think is a pretty good happy median. Pretty busy. Sometimes I can't make a weekly stream, so I don't want to say it's going to be a weekly stream, even though I kind of did earlier, but it really is going to be kind of more of 3 a month, so like every week and a half you'll get a stream. How do you feel about Thresher calling you a good fisherman after dropping the rod? You know, Thresher, obviously, you know, he turned up the roast game in his video, and believe me, when I'm actually editing our video right now, because I lost my footage. I had to go get my hard drive recovered. I got it recovered, so I'll get that video out this week, end of this week, hopefully, my side of the story, fishing with Thresher, and I'll get him back, don't worry. Definitely get him back. Long distance award winner, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Great fishing up here, but would rather be fishing lower the Laguna Madre and Corpus. Saltwater Texan. You know, I've done a lot of fishing in Michigan, in Lake Michigan. I have a friend who has a lake house up there, and I go fishing almost every year. I didn't this past year, but 6 years previous to that, I went up there every year, and I fished Lake Michigan a lot for king salmon and, big trout and lakers and stuff, and I love doing that. So, but we're not on the panhandle of Michigan. Lance Lewandowski, what is a good launch spot for Moses Lake? Floodgate or the north or the south side has a marina? What type of kayak do you have? I've got a couple. I've got a Sens mostly, but my it's not my kayak, but my tournament yak is a Hobie Pro Angler 14. Easy. Weather has been horrible. Yes, it has. Definitely has. Chris likes the topwater, Pedro. Tony, I went jetty fishing in Boca Chica, caught a lot of mangrove snappers and piggy perch. It is the time of year for mangrove snappers. If you guys want to fish a jetty and you want to get some really good tasting fish, mangrove snappers are all over the place on the jetties right now. Charles Smith, what's up, sexy? What's up, Charles? Charles is, if you guys don't know, Charles is the guy that he's been featured in a couple of my videos. I go fishing with him quite a bit. It's actually his yak that I borrow when I go tournament fishing. So if you like me fishing out of the Hobie Pro Angler 14, thank Charles, because it's his. What's Thresher's channel? It's literally called Thresher Fishing. Free Spirit. Thresher Fishing. He got a video out where we went fishing already. Charlie Bongiovi, thoughts on Lunkers TV? That's a good question. I think it's just such crap. Like, for those of you who don't know, Lunkers TV is a big bass fishing YouTube channel, and he got hacked by some no-name hacker group, and they took over his channel. They deleted a bunch of his videos. They started posting like his YouTube analytics and the money he makes, and they started doing all sorts of stuff to his channel. I think it's crap, but he's got a really good attitude about it. He'll get it back. He'll get all his videos back. So it sucks that people like hackers do that, especially to a fishing YouTube channel. Like, why would you do that to a fishing YouTube channel? But, you know, what can you do? Jared Tomanak, Thresher rocks too. Yes, he does. He's a good fisherman. Good guy too. Fly fishing the southeast, yes. Hey, you have a new paddle in the background. I've got the Redfish paddle and then like a black paddle. That's Cora's paddle. Tony Christiansen. On the Texas Department of Parks and Wildlife, consuming fish out of the bay or Gulf is banned. What's your thoughts? It's not banned. It's advised that you don't eat out of Galveston Bay right now, or Trinity Bay, because there was some sort of leak. I think they say don't eat more than like 8 ounces of trout a month. I think that's kind of what they said. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. They just do that to save their own butts, I think. Thanks for the lure retrieval video. I learned a lot. Thanks, Alberto. Baltimore, just found out how to change my name. No more last name. Well, there you go. 210, so I'm guessing you're San Antonio. Charles, need to get back out on the water again. I found a new spot. I always like hearing about new spots. So, yeah, we'll hit it. Just let me know. We got to get a break in the weather, Charles, and we'll go. J-Sai has tried throwing those gulp swimming mullet. Worked well, but the tails don't last for crap. Well, croaker and all the small fish, especially the ones in like potholes and stuff, they will just eat the tails. So if you're around a lot of small fish, the tails get chewed off. Big fish usually don't mess with them, but I love those things. I really do. When I see you launch at Louis Bait Shop in Bayou Vista, I'm just like, bruh, so close. Yeah, I don't, I haven't fished there in a very long time. So if you're watching old videos, I've fished there quite a bit, but I don't really fish there much anymore. But yeah, it's close. It's a pretty damn good spot. A lot of people fish it, but, it gets overfished, I think. But it's still a good spot. You can always catch fish there. Harvey Barrera, what's up? A little late, but I made it. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Chris, how long before bull run? Bulls have already started schooling up. The rain has been a little bit weird. I estimate that the run is going to happen early this year because we've had a lot of rain the last couple weeks, and if that pattern continues, the water will be cooler sooner, and I think they'll start making their run earlier. So I'm thinking mid-October is going to be fire all the way through end of November. I'm thinking mid-October is going to be when it really starts. Chris, what's up? Love your videos. What's up, Chris? Great video on underwater lures. Thanks, Benjamin. McGee, how do you determine which color soft plastic to use when fishing the marshes? I have a video on my channel about color choice and lures. That should help you out quite a bit. In the pool, yes, in the pool. Baltimore, yes, sir. Do freshwater reds school up in October as well? Yes. The freshwater reds in San Antonio, in Calaveras Lake, in Bronig Lake, they do the same exact run that they would do in the Gulf, in the saltwater. They, it's just, that's their, pattern. That's just instinct to them to start schooling up and running. So yes, October, November is really good time to get on schooling reds at Calaveras and Bronig as well, because they will mimic that exact same run. So yeah. Eric, thanks for the great tips. Thanks, man. Christopher, yeah, I caught 2 fish but lost 5 swimming mullet. Yeah, so you're around a lot of small fish. That will happen if you're around those smaller fish. And like GTA 5 Daily Gamer says, flounder bite those tails. Yeah, flounder do too. I mean, all types of fish will bite the tails. That's what's doing a lot of the work in the water. So that's what especially the small fish will come up and hit, because that's what's moving around a lot. Mackie, when will the flounder start biting? The flounder run coincides with the bull red run. So right around the same time. So the flounder and bulls are pretty much running almost at the same time. They happen occasionally at slightly different times, but when the bulls are running, the flounder are going to be running. So that's what I would say. Baffin Bay Addict, are you going to go to the Hunting Fishing Expo in Corpus this weekend? Unfortunately, I will not be there. Redtail, again, will be there. I wasn't able to make the San Antonio show. I had a tournament. I have another event that I'm going to on Saturday, so I will not be down in Corpus, unfortunately. But again, Redtail will be there. They're going to do another show deal, get you really good deal on those rods. Let them know that I sent you. He might give you even better discount, so let him know I said that. But yeah, go check them out at the Hunting Fishing Expo in Corpus Christi. They're going to have all the glasses that I use, these Redtail optics. They're going to have all the rods down there, and Nino will be there. Let Nino know that I sent you and maybe get an even better deal. Is it likely to catch the red run at the dike? It's hit or miss at the dike in the red run. Very hit or miss. I've caught him there before during the run, but very, very hit or miss at the dike. Tony also went fishing at the pier in Port Isabel, caught some sand trout on live shrimp. It was night fishing under the lights. That's a good way to catch fish right now, especially with the trout. Great to hear. Thanks. Calaveras has been slow for a while. Looking forward to October, November. Calaveras is always pretty slow in the summer, especially if you're fishing from the bank. When it's really hot, those fish are deep, really deep. And a lot of the times, especially now that the wall's closed, those fish are way back in the cut at the wall. So wall being closed makes it even harder. Really, the only success that guides are having is with trolling and finding the schools and casting into them. But yeah, if you're fishing from the bank, the summer is not a great time to fish at Calaveras. But with the run starting, they will definitely be going shallow, and they'll be schooled up shallow. One of the best fishing days I had ever was from the bank at Calaveras, catching big redfish, freshwater redfish, and it was right at the end of October. So if small fish eat the tails, that can be good. Big fish eat little fish. Well, if you don't hook the little fish, then it doesn't really matter at that case, but we'll see. What camera do you live stream with? Honestly, I just use the webcam that's built into my computer. I'm going to try to get a better camera set up so I get a little bit more high quality and I don't get the black bars on the edge. But question, I know you have the Inception reel, and I have one as well, but the cap keeps coming off. Do yours do the same? No. If your cap keeps coming off, it's because your spool is not all the way in your receiver pin. So make sure your spool is all the way in correctly, and then your cap should pop right back on and make sure it locks down. And just FYI, guys, I'm not gonna. In my live streams, I used to go back and make sure I read every single question, but sometimes it comes through way too fast, and I don't want to get too far behind like I have been in the previous live streams with the comments. So if I miss your question and I don't answer it, or if I miss what you said, go ahead and ask it again, and I'll answer it then. All right? Hope that makes sense to everybody. So if I miss your question, I do apologize. Throw it in there again, and I'll try to get it the next time around. Adrian, where is Moses Lake best for bull reds? Not really in Moses Lake. Not really in Moses Lake. They're in the channels running out to the Gulf and in the surf when they're running. Tony Christensen, big pond of water found with reds everywhere. Reds seem to be spawning in shallow area. Couldn't get them to bite anything. Use tops and once. They are not spawning right now. So if you saw them schooled up in shallows, it's because that's what they do. They're not spawning right now. They're getting ready to school up to start their spawning run, but they do not spawn in the shallows. They spawn out deep. And then they come back in and lay the eggs, and then the fish are all pushed inland. All the small ones are pushed inland, and they kind of do the same thing. Deer Slayer picked up a Redtail spinning rod. As I was reading it, it bounced off. Picked up a Redtail spinning rod and ordered my wife a Cora rod from Nino and SA this weekend. We are both stoked. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. Everyone loves the Cora rod, so hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know when you get them tested out. Send me some pictures. Everardo, what's up, man? Glad you can make it. Tyler says, Harvey, I have an Inception and lost the cap into the water, came off my kayak, but my replacement cap I got is fairly tighter. I haven't had any of that problem, and the Inception is the reel that dropped all the way underwater when the red pulled it out of my hands, so I still haven't had any problem. I just got it out, cleaned it, I pulled it apart. I love that reel. For as cheap as it is, $120, honestly, I love it. That's my personal opinion. I haven't had any problems with it. Do you believe in Procure, and do you recommend it? I used Procure occasionally, but honestly, I haven't personally seen myself catch more fish because of Procure. So I can't necessarily recommend it, but I'd say it wouldn't hurt. Having it wouldn't hurt. Anything that is, supposedly going to help you catch fish, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Go ahead and try it. Is that Redfish paddle good behind you? I love it. I use it in all my videos, so... Charlie Bon Jovi, what's your favorite reel? Favorite reel of mine is the 13 Fishing Concept C. That is my favorite reel. So yeah, 13 Fishing Concept C. It's the white one. I have it right here on my custom Redtail. 13 Fishing Concept C on a camoed out white camo Redtail. That's my favorite reel. That's my favorite setup. That's what I use a lot. Do you prefer the FS12T or the FS128T? Honestly, it's up to you. If you want to stand up and fish, the 128T is what you need to get. If you don't want to stand up and fish, or you don't care to stand up and fish, the 12T is perfectly fine. There's like a $200 price difference between them. So if you want to stand up and fish, you need the 128. Nick Martin, Inception is a great reel. It definitely is. Christopher, what is the best bait for flounder? If you're talking bait, like live bait, live mullet, and you free line it, let them do it. If you're talking lure, chartreuse, gulp, swim, and mullet. That's what I use. What pin reel do you recommend? I'm debating between Clash and Spinfisher. And what's up, Steve? But yeah, I love the Spinfisher. The Spinfisher really, though, is more of a surf reel and boat reel. It's a bit heavy, but it does not take in salt water. Like, I never have to clean that reel ever because it never freezes up on me. So it's a tank of a reel. I've had it for 2 years. I love this Spinfisher. Absolutely love it. The Clash is a lighter reel, better for kayak fishing. Better, I think, all around, like for kayak fishing, just because if you're throwing lures all the time or you're throwing bait all the time and you're casting all the time, a lighter reel is what you're going to want, but you have to clean that reel. So it depends on whether or not if you don't get your reels wet with salt water, then the Clash is probably perfect. If you go surf fishing a lot or your reels kind of take some splash from salt water, the Spinfisher 5 is the way to go. Hope that answers. JS Outdoors, what do you like fishing around more, marsh or oyster reefs? Both. Depends on what time of year it is and where the fish are. But, yeah, both. Marsh is more redfish, oyster reef is more trout, but you'll catch both in both, so. Nick Martin, have you ever heard of Thump King lures? If not, try them. Flounder and trout love them. Have not heard of them, but I will look them up. Christopher, snapped my 13 fishing rod, so I need to get it fixed without my mom finding out. LOL. I'm going to tell you this. I love the 13 fishing reels. I really do. I hate their rods. Their rods, to me, are broomsticks. They have no action whatsoever. As for for bass, I think they're great. They do a lot of functions for bass fishing. I don't think they have a great 13 fishing rod for inshore fishing and for redfish fishing. I don't like the 13 fishing rods at all. But their reels, love them. Is the FS-128 a good BTB kayak? No, it is not a good BTB kayak. It is made for shallow, calm waters. Not even shallow. It can be deep waters, but it has to be calm. But yeah, not a great BTB yak, in my personal opinion. Best conditions for reds during the hot August weather. I mean, it's hot and it's August. So that's kind of the weather. You're going to catch them when it's like that. But I guess conditions-wise, I like partly cloudy. Bluebird skies are a bit difficult. I like an incoming tide where it's low and it's moving up to high. That's when the reds are kind of up shallow. And I'm fishing grass lines. That's kind of what I do. Let's see. I don't know if you know about Gar. With all the rain, you think they would be more in the bayous. Yeah, I know about Gar. I caught a massive one last time I was my tournament like a couple months ago that I did really well in. Yeah, I caught a big Gar, and definitely with the freshwater, they're mixed right in there with the redfish and the trout and everything. So they're out there for sure. How are you? Hey buddy, how are you today? I've never used braid. What do you recommend? I use Power Pro. I use like 20 to 30 pound Power Pro. That's what I use for braid, and that's all I throw. I don't throw any mono. I throw fluorocarbon leaders and braid mainline. All my reels, spinning and bait caster. Mackie, that kind of answers your question. I use braid. I do not use mono on any of my reels. I use straight braid, and then I use fluorocarbon leaders. And I switch my line whenever I need to, whenever it starts running low or it starts breaking. So if you start noticing your line breaking a lot, it's time to change it. So yeah, Christopher Doyle, you ever fish lights at night? I have a video on my channel fishing lights at night. Check it out. What do you think about Hobie Pro anglers? Which size do you prefer, 12 or 14 footer? I love them. That's what I use in tournaments. Like I said before, Charles's yak is what I use at Hobie Pro Angler 14. The 12 and 14 are both great, honestly. The 14 gives you a little bit more space. It's a little bit more stable, a little bit of benefits, but the 12 is great too. Never have to put your rod down, which is why I love it when I'm tournament fishing, because I can be paddling, see something, and instantly cast at it. Don't have to put my paddle down, pick up my rod, and cast. So it's definitely beneficial, and it ups the amount of casts you can make. So I really love the Pro Anglers. Matt Outdoors says, sorry I was eating, but I'm here. Nice for you to show up, man. Appreciate you stopping by again. Nate said he just got a Concept A reel paired with a Waterloo medium action rod. Do you think that's a good combo? A Redtail would be better. That's what I'm going to say. Have you installed bokehs in your Concept C? I'm considering it. I have not, but it's probably a good idea. What do you think about Waterloo rods? Not a fan. Redtail rods all the way. Went to Medina Lake on Sunday, caught 30 bass, all about a pound. Yeah, reason, Matt, that the Medina Lake has a lot of really small bass right now is because it just got filled up again. I live out there. Honestly, my house, my family house is right there off Medina Lake. So I know a lot of what goes on Medina Lake. And they just stocked it with like 250,000 fry bass last year. And so they have grown, those bass right now have grown to about a pound. If they're bigger than a pound, it's because they survived the drought. And they survived when that lake got 100-foot low. So anything bigger than a pound has survived that huge drought that we had when that lake was down to almost nothing. Now that it's completely full again, they went ahead and restocked it with a bunch of fry, and all those fish right now are about a pound to a pound and a half. So that's why you're catching a lot of smaller fish there, but it'll stay, the water level will stay up, and the big fish will start moving in more and more, and they'll get bigger and bigger. So it's going to be a great place to fish again. And they still have, hybrid stripers and stuff in there too. So I watched a video of a guy catch a freshwater red, and it was a greenish color. I wonder where he caught it at. I have never seen that before. Ruben, been using popping cork with a new penny chartreuse gulp shrimp, but trouts bite off the tail. What can I do to prevent? I don't know. The thing about gulps is you're gonna go through them. They don't stand up very well, but you will catch fish on them. So there's really nothing you can do to prevent smaller fish from ripping the tails off. That's kind of all I have to say about that, really. So I'd keep using it because the bigger fish will hit the whole thing, but you're gonna go through gulps just like you'd go through live bait almost. I really compare it to live bait. I think a pack of gulps, like a 6-pack of gulps, will last you the same as a pint of live shrimp. That's kind of the comparison that I go through with those. Have you ever fished Estes Flats? Yes, I have. It's a very good flat. Holds a lot of really good fish. What knot do you use to connect the braid to mono? I use a couple. Verse Albrighton, don't use that one very often. If I have a lot of time, like when I'm actually rigging up before a tournament, then I'll use an FG knot. It's the strongest braid to mono knot, or braid to mono, braid to fluoro. The strongest knot you can use is an FG knot. It takes a while to tie. It's not an easy tie by any means, but it is the strongest tie. The one I use most often, especially if I'm doing it on the fly, is really easy to tie, and that is a double uni knot. The FG knot goes through your eyes a lot better of your rod, but the double uni knot will also do that as well. So that's kind of where it is. Johnny, hope I didn't miss much. Really haven't, but I'm glad you showed up. What depth of water do you prefer? Depends on the time of year. Right now, I like shallow water. A foot is really good right now. Corey Smith, have you tried the Tatula reels? I have not. I really only buy Shimano and 13 reels. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. All of them were in coves. Yeah, Matt, that's exactly what it is. But hey, pounders are really fun to catch. Yes, they are. Bass are, fun to catch. The only problem I have with bass is that the fight lasts like 15 seconds, and monsters fight lasts like a minute, depending on the type of style you're using, unless you're using light tackle. But other than that, bass are still fun to catch. I need to get better at bass fishing because I know you guys want to see more bass fishing videos alongside my saltwater fishing videos, but I need to get better at bass fishing. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I don't have great spots right now that I can go out and consistently catch some good bass. Tyler says double uni. I say double uni as well. It's a pretty easy knot. What is your dream fish to catch out of your kayaks at JS Outdoors? Without a doubt, the fish that I want to catch out of my kayak is a tarpon. I want to catch a tarpon in my kayak. I'm going to probably go to Florida to do that next year and pray that I can get on a tarpon, even if it's a small one, but that is definitely my dream fish to catch out of a yak. How come y'all don't use fish finders or lights? I fish 2 foot of water. I don't need a fish finder for 2 foot of water. And I don't go BTB often enough for me to use a fish finder. So that's why I don't use it, because I don't need it. and it's just money that I don't need to spend right now. So that's why. And lights, I mean, I put lights on my yak if I go out at night, but I fish lights, if that's what you mean. Have you ever tried the Hobie Outback? I used it once. It's a good yak. It's a lot lighter than the Pro Anglers, and it still is easy to pedal, so it's definitely a good yak. Kayak Chris made it. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Have you ever used All-Star rods? They're out of business. All-Star rods are no more. They're kind of... I used to. They used to be great rods, and you can still find them. They're blowing them out right now. They used to, but I don't use them anymore. I use Redtails. Redtail rods is my exclusive rod that I use. All of my rods are Redtail rods, and I love them. Beyond the breakers, not bass. Yeah, that's what BTB means. I don't understand your question. Jay Sias, where do you find those popping corks with the thick leader? I've only found the wire ones. I get mine at Fishing Tackle Unlimited, or I get it from STX Ultimate Cork down in the valley. Michael Martinez, first time on the chat. Love the vids. Thanks for stopping by, man. Tarpon is on my bucket list as well. Yeah, that's what mine too. Go to South Padre. They have tarpon. I know there's Texas tarpon, and there used to be a lot more. Back in early 1900s, it was like, I think Port A was like the tarpon capital of the world, but they overfished them. But it's a lot easier to catch tarpon in Florida. You can go up in the mangroves and mess with some baby tarpon, and that would still be fun. I did my first tournament and got first in reds. Thanks for all the advice. That's awesome, Steve. Hope you got some money. Peyton, hey, I love your channel. I live near Galveston and fish off an Ascend 128. Finally made it to a live stream. Keep up the awesome vids. Thank you for stopping by, Peyton. Hope you're enjoying your kayak. Hopefully you're enjoying fishing. And that's awesome. Glad for you to stop by. Off the fishing subject, did you see Brazil soccer team win the gold? Yes, I did. And they went crazy. It's cool to see them win it at home. You know, the U.S. didn't even qualify for the men didn't even qualify for the Olympics. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Nate Gonzalez, do you still use the eye bobber? Not really. Freshwater I will, but for saltwater I don't necessarily need it because I kind of already know what the bottom structure feels like. But if I want to know the bottom structure in somewhere I've never been, I will use it. You should hit up Dunlap Lake. I hear it holds some huge bass. It would make for an awesome video. I'll have to look that up. Dunlap Lake. I'll have to look that up. I might have to write that down. But thanks for the tip. They say tarpon are in the Brazos River sometimes, but never saw one. Maybe wives' tale, not sure. They'll run up. Like I said, they'll be there. They're rare here. That's the thing, is tarpon are rare in Texas. You can catch them here, but they're rare. They're a lot more common in Florida, and even in Florida, they're hard to catch. So that's why it's a target species for me and a dream species for me, because they're not easy to catch, no matter where you are. What do you think of a Heritage Angler 10? I don't really know anything about them. I don't use 10-foot kayaks. I think 12 is as short as you should go in a kayak. Personal opinion. Have you ever tried fish bites? Yes, I have. I used fish bites in freshwater and Calaveras a bit. So yeah. What do you think about the hard plastic bobber with beads in it? Not a fan of that at all. Have you talked about your tournament yet? No, I haven't. But now that you say that, I'm going to get into it. Go ahead and hit the like button. There's a bunch of people in here right now. That would be very, very awesome if you guys hit that. And now I'm going to start talking about the tournament because Matt brought it up. So, here we go. So, it was definitely an interesting day on the water. This was this past Saturday. It rained for about 9 days straight until Friday. So, Friday, the day before the tournament, and then 9 days before that was straight rain. We probably over that time got 6-7 inches. I mean, it sprinkled and then it had a ton of rain. Anyway, it definitely does stuff to fishing. Definitely does a lot of different stuff to what the fish are going to do. But I came in with a game plan, and my game plan was I was going to make a really long paddle. It was about a 4-mile paddle that I made. And the wind was high, so I was going to have basically an outgoing tide in the morning, switching to an incoming tide as the day went on. and I was going to have, basically, it was called for 13-mile-per-hour winds. When I got out there, it was blowing more like 20, and it was supposed to stay constant at 13 all day. It went from about 20 to about 10 to dead calm to about 15. So it definitely did a lot of stuff when I was out there on the water. My plan was to kind of fish my way through a back lake. I was going to make my way to a really big back lake, hoping the reds were going to be schooled up there. On my way through the marshes towards the back lake, I ended up catching a small red, so I was pretty confident the fish were going to be back there. And when I got all the way back out to my spot, there was a boat there. And it's not a huge back lake, and there was one boat in that back lake. I don't know how he got there because it is like 6 inches throughout the whole way to that back lake. So I don't know how that boat got there, but he did. And when I got out there, all he was doing was burning the shoreline. So he was full speed on his engine, running the entire shoreline of the back lake. He did that twice while I was sitting there watching it. So he never stopped and just busted through the back lake. And the back lake's only about a foot and a half deep, 2 foot at its deepest, and he's just flying around there like a freaking crazy man. And I was not happy. I was pretty pissed off, but I know what he was doing. A lot of those boats will go into those back lakes. They'll run around like madmen, waiting for the redfish to show themselves. And the redfish will get scared of the boat motor, and they'll take off. So him running around, he's looking for the schools that are V'ing up and moving along. Well, he did 2 laps and then just left the back lake. So not only did he run his motor throughout the whole back lake, he also didn't see anything that made him want to fish it. So I made a 4-mile paddle to a back lake that didn't have any schools in it. And this is a spot that I really like. It's a spot that I know holds some decent fish. And it's one of my tournament spots. It's one of my, when I need to find fish, this is a place that I go for my tournaments. And it was just, I got back there, made a really long paddle. I was kind of tired after making that long paddle. And to see someone do that to me, it kind of frustrated me. So I started out the day right at the beginning fishing, and I was frustrated, which isn't a good way to be on the water. So my first tip is do not get frustrated when you're on the water. That is like key. Not even when you're fishing tournaments, you know what I mean? Just every day on the water, don't get frustrated. Make sure you're enjoying it. And seeing that guy do that, I kind of was upset. But I got back there, I made my drifts. I ended up hooking into a fish, just over slot fish. So I had my first fish on the stringer. I was throwing a popping cork and gulp at that time because I knew it was going to be a grinding day. So my plan going in was throw topwaters on the way out. I got 1 blow up and didn't get that fish. And then when I got back there, I knew it was going to be a grind, so I started throwing a popping cork and gulp, which is my go-to grinded out lure. I knew I was going to find fish on that. So I threw that lure, got that fish. I was pretty excited. The fish were still back there. Made another drift, and I finally saw my first redfish feeding on the shoreline. I saw him eat on the shoreline. He made a pretty big splash. I was within casting distance. I put it on top of him, popped the cork once, and he slammed it. He slammed the lure, took off, started peeling drag. I fought him for a couple seconds, and he pulled the hook. I don't think I did anything wrong. I just don't think he fully had that bait in his mouth. I should have given him a couple more seconds to eat and let him fully get that bait in his mouth, but he did pull it pretty hard and started running sideways, so I set the hook on him, and he got off. And on tournament day, that's never a good thing. And I don't remember the last time that I've really lost a fish that I fought for. It's been a while, and I don't lose fish very often. And it was kind of frustrating, especially on a tournament day, to lose a fish, especially a quality one. This one was probably right at the mid slot, 24, 25 inches. And that would have been a good kicker. I already had one on the stringer. It would have been my second fish. So that was kind of, again, I was back to being frustrated. Made another drift with the popping cork. I looked back over my shoulder, trying to look, as I'm popping the popping cork, I'm looking back over my shoulder and just scanning the water for signs of redfish. And I turn and I'm scanning, and my cork goes, and I feel my rod pull, and I turn and look, and the cork's gone, he's running, and I set the hook into him, and he just straight pulled drag. and I couldn't turn him. He just was going, and I just saw him on the surface of the water, V'd up with my lure in his mouth, just pull and drag for a good 15 seconds, and I could not stop him. I had my drag, pretty much all the way down, and somehow pulled the hook again. While pulling drag, he pulled the hook. That was a big fish. That was upper slot, probably in the 8.5 pound range. Would have been one hell of a fish for a tournament day. So at this point, I am just livid on the water. Again, not really wanting, you don't really ever want to get upset when you're on the water, but I ended up getting a little bit upset. So that wasn't great, but I kept on grinding it out. I knew the fish were back there. I knew there were big fish back there. So I kept grinding it out. I ended up finally hooking into one and keeping him on. It was another kind of lower end slot fish. So I had 2 fish on the stringer. So I was like, well, I'm going to weigh in. 2 fish on the stringer in the Lone Star tournament is usually good enough for some money. So I probably would have placed and won some money with 2 fish. So I really wanted a bigger fish though, and I really wanted a bigger kicker. And again, I'm 4 miles out from my launch point. And I wanted a bigger kicker because I knew one more fish could make me that much more money. So I stayed out there and chasing the bigger fish because I knew they were back there. And I started seeing schools. They were starting to school up back there. I was making my casts at schools, and I couldn't really get them to eat. I did get one to eat. Again, he never got the hook. He just kind of pulled it for 1 second. Didn't get a hook into him. Then I made another cast out of school, made 2 pops of the popping cork, and a nice big old red came and he hit the cork. He didn't hit the lure, he hit the cork on the surface. So I was just like, geez. So when that happens, I throw a topwater. So I pulled my topwater out, casted that, nothing. So that was my game plan. I ended up fishing another hour and a half looking for that bigger fish. I still thought I was giving myself enough time to get back, but I completely kind of forgot about the incoming tide. So now on the way back, I'm not only going against the wind, I'm going against the tide. And what should be about an hour paddle turned into about a 2 hour and 15 minute paddle. And by the time I made it back to the truck, it was about 45 minutes to the weigh-in, and there was no way I was going to make it before the absolute last minute check-in is. So I got all the way out there, did this whole fishing trip, had a frustrating day losing fish. I still had my 2 fish on the stringer. If you guys saw the picture on Facebook or Instagram, you saw the 2 fish that I caught that day. Probably would have ended up with a little bit of money, but I missed the weigh-in. And, you live and you learn. It was a really good learning experience on the water. The way I look at it is every time I'm out there, it's a learning experience. And that's what I always tell people is every time you're out there, try to learn something about what you're doing out there and try to not make the same mistakes the next time you go out. So, you learn whenever they're hitting the popping cork, let them eat it a little bit longer. Don't get too antsy and set the hook too quick. That's probably why I lost that first fish. The second fish, I didn't do anything wrong. I know I didn't do anything wrong on the big one that was pulling drag. I don't know what happened there. I don't think I made any mistakes on that. But I'm kind of upset with myself that I got a little bit frustrated at the beginning of the day and probably weakened my chances of catching good fish when I was frustrated. So don't get frustrated on the water. Just keep to your plan, stick to your plan, get out there, try to catch some fish and have fun doing it. So yeah, that was my tournament day, and what can you do? I had a good time. I ended up catching fish. I still had fun. I filmed it. I'll probably put that video out. It might be all over the place because on tournament day I put the camera on and I just let it run. So it might be all over the place. It might take a while to edit. That video probably won't come out for a couple weeks. I've got other videos that I'm working on, but it was still a decent day on the water, and I'm not going to complain catching fish. I think I only caught 3 redfish that day, and I lost 3 redfish that day. So it was a little bit of a struggle, but you live and you learn while you're out there, and had a good time, and that's tournaments for you. Sometimes that happens, but again, fun day. So yeah, that's my story on the tournament. If you guys have any questions about that, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, I just thought I'd share all that information with you guys, and hopefully learn from some of the mistakes that I made on Saturday. But yeah, after a lot of rain, fishing can be tough. I always go with my pop and cork and gulp, and when fishing's tough. And all right, so yep, any questions on strategy or something, go ahead and let me know. Let me go back and answer some questions here. What happened with the weigh-in? Oh yeah, I just answered that. Insomniac, speaking of tournaments, Ride the Bull 7 is this Saturday. Guess who's going to win it? Insomniac. Good luck, man. Hope you do. Film it. Put it on your channel. Let me watch it. Hopefully that goes well for you, man. How many people on your last live stream? It was, at any given time, it's usually right around, between 50 and 75. But in total, people coming in and out, it was probably like 425 total on the last one. This one might actually beat it. I think we've had a pretty steady stream of people coming in and out, so that's pretty cool. Lance, it was cool seeing you fish with Thresher and CC. I am from there, but I live in Houston now. I used to fish that spot all the time. It's a great spot, and Thresher and I probably will end up doing more trips together in the future. He's a good guy. He's a good fisherman. Makes really good videos. I think working with him and working together with him can help grow both of our channels equally and grow even bigger than they are now. So yeah, I had a lot of fun down there, and I'm making my video now that should be out later this week, my side of the Thresher fishing video. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. Are you still considering putting a trolling motor on your kayak? Still considering it. Still haven't done it, but still considering it for sure. Have you ever heard of Sportsman's Road? Absolutely, I've heard of Sportsman's Road. I think if you live in Galveston area and you haven't heard of Sportsman's Road, you really don't know what you're doing. But yeah, it's a great spot. Kind of, I don't fish there much unless it's like winter and the trout are on Confederate Reef. But the Reds will run there during the summer in some of the main channels, so it's a pretty good spot. But again, it's very well known and it gets fished quite a lot out there at Sportsman's. Recommend topwater hard bait. I always recommend the She-Dog. I have it here. She-Dog. High-pitched rattle. Especially in like higher wind situations, that's going to call those fish in. I have it right here. This is my night topwater. Dark yellow head, chartreuse head. That's a sheep pup. Same thing, but a little bit smaller profile. And that's what I throw at night. Shark is good to eat, but they can be too big to eat but can they be too big to be any good to eat? Nah, I've never really caught and kept a shark. I've caught shark, but I don't think I've ever kept shark. I know you have to bleed them, so as soon as you catch them, if you want to eat them, which they are good to eat, you got to bleed them immediately and get all their blood out. Otherwise, their meat gets really red and not great. But I think, yeah, the bigger they are, the worse they are. I think that's kind of the way of every fish. The bigger redfish are, the worse they are tasting. The bigger black drum are, the worse they are tasting. The bigger the trout are, the worse they are tasting. I think that's just kind of the way it goes with all fish. I think the bigger they are, the worse they are. Have you ever gone fishing in Oso Bay? I go fishing in Oso Bay a lot. I have a video with Thresher in Oso Bay. You should get a group together and have a fishing trip in Galveston someday. Absolutely will, Peyton. That is absolutely going to happen. I just need to find time. I have a new job. I've got the YouTube channel. I've also got some school stuff going on, getting my master's. So I'm very, very busy, but I do want to and will have a fishing trip in Galveston. So yeah. What kind of gulp under the cork? Shrimp, just a shrimp gulp. New penny chartreuse is what I use under the cork. Thanks, enjoy the video, first time visiting your live stream. Thanks for stopping by, man. Rick, I made it, totally forgot, sorry. Oh, it's all good, I'm glad you made it. I'm gonna probably be on here for another 10 minutes. So get your questions in, and we'll do another live stream probably like midweek next week. Have you tried Chicken Boy Bubba Clucker Mullet? I've tried the Chicken Boy Shrimp. I've never tried the Bubba Clucker Mullet, but I've seen them. They look pretty good. Do you ever use the Paul Brown lures? I've got a bunch of them, yeah. I use them for trout a lot of the times in the winter. Nice videos, new to kayak fishing. What type of anchor system do you use for your kayak? Anchor trolleys are always good to have. Now I kind of use just a stakeout stick. Stakeout stick in the marsh is all you need. Just stick it into the mud and it holds you from going anywhere. If otherwise, I just use like a 3-pound anchor tied off to an anchor trolley on the kayak if you're in deeper water and you can't stake out. Hope that answers your question, Mikey. Nick Martin, when you're throwing a popping cork in a gulp shrimp, are you using a jig head or are you hooking the shrimp straight to the hook? Jig head. I use like an 1/8 ounce if I want it to descend at a decent rate. If I want it to descend faster, I'll use a heavier jig head. If I want it to descend slower, I'll use a lighter jig head. But always use a jig head. I mean, you can use it with no jig head and just like the hook and get the hook down and kind of rig it weedless if you want, but then it descends really slowly, so you've got to work it a lot slower. So the harder you pull it, the heavier the jig head you should probably use, and the more you pop it. But yeah. Are you going to the Justice Tournament on September 3rd in Corpus? I am not. I am going... I've got something else that weekend. I've got to think. I've got something else that weekend. Actually, that weekend, I think I'm going to be in San Antonio fishing Calaveras that weekend. What camera do you use? I use a bunch of cameras. Hero 4 Session, I've got one right here. Hero 4 Session's one of the ones I use. I use a Hero 3 Ions. I use a big Canon that Cora has. I use all sorts of cameras. Have you tried the Egret's Voodoo Shrimp under a cork? Yep. Whenever I fish the Egret Baits tournament, I use those. I actually came 3rd in the last Egret Baits Redfish tournament and used that exact setup, and it's quite good. Do you prefer gulp shrimp or gulp shad mullet? I prefer gulp shrimp under a popping cork. I prefer gulp shad mullet if I'm throwing just like a regular paddle tail style bait. Insomniac, thanks for the stream, Drew. Hope to fish with you soon, bro. Yes, Insomniac. We've been talking about it forever, but when I make a trip to the New Orleans area or anywhere, along the Louisiana coast, we gotta set something up. I know you've been here since the very beginning, and I appreciate you staying with me and watching. And yeah, next time I'll definitely let you know, and we'll do a trip. Hopefully soon. I agree completely. Nice video on lure action in the pool. Learned a lot. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for watching. If you have any further questions, let me know. Claw anchor works best 3 pounds. Yeah, claw anchor 3 pound. That's what I throw unless I'm in shallow water. Then I'm staking out with a stakeout stick. You ever fish the lower Laguna Madre and South Padre of Royal City? Yeah, I have, but I don't fish there very often. It's very far drive for me, so I haven't fished there in a while, but I have fished there. Jonathan Cavazos, have you ever tried one of them mystery tackle box or lucky tackle box that they mail to? I don't. Not to say I won't, but I don't because I like the lures that I like, and I don't need other lures to go out. I like using lures that I know I have caught fish and I'm confident with. I don't want to go out and use lures that I don't know anything about or that I don't know how to work properly. But I think it's a really cool service for bass. I think it's incredible. I would prefer Mystery Tackle Box personally, just because I like the YouTubers that they have on their team better. Maybe one day I'll get with one of them, but as of right now, I don't try them, and I don't necessarily need it for saltwater. I think they can do more for their saltwater division. They're mostly for bass. So if they ever upped their saltwater game, either of them, then I might definitely be interested. Thanks for stopping by, Valentine. Thanks for making it. How much money on average do you win in tournaments? Depends on entries. Zoe, are you pissed off?
Come here.
Oh look, Cora's here.
Hi. Come here, Zoe.
My dog's hungry, so she's hitting her food bowl. But I guess on average, I don't know. It's hard to say. It depends on how many people are in the tournaments. Most of the time, it's like the winner gets $1,500. In a kayak tournament, it's usually around $1,500, maybe a little bit more. I don't know how much. I haven't done the math on what average is. Love my Hero 4 session. I do too. Only bad thing is, wind noise. There's no way to cancel out wind noise on the Hero 4 session at all. It's got two mics, one on the front and one on the back. So if the wind's coming from the back, it'll turn the front mic on. So you get better audio out of the Hero 4 session than you do out of the other cameras, but it can't have an external mic. So that's the only difference. but I do like my Hero 4 session a lot. It gets really good quality video, and it's only $200. So if you want to start a channel or you want to start recording your fishing videos, I think Hero 4 session is the way to go. Vincent, what's up, man? What would you throw fishing a bridge at about 6 feet? I would throw a chartreuse gulp swimming mullet and drag it on bottom for flounder. That is what I would do. Nino Gonzalez, Ola from the Redtail Republic. Like I said, guys, Nino, he will be at the Corpus show this next weekend. Go talk to him, get a really good deal on your Redtail rods and Redtail optics. Like I said at the beginning, he will definitely be there. Tell him I sent you. I know a lot of you guys, and thank you all you guys who did go to the San Antonio show and talk to Nino and buy rods from Nino. I know a lot of you guys did. I talked to him about it, and he said that a lot of you guys were mentioning me, and I really appreciate all you guys who went to the San Antonio show and said hi, and it's awesome. So again, Corpus this weekend, he will be there. I unfortunately will not, but go say hi to him, tell him hi from me, and hopefully you guys get a rod and some glasses. Use the stuff that I use. I love it. Have you ever tried the micro anchor pole? Yeah, on a Hobie Pro Angler. It's a great product. I would love to have one, but they're expensive right now. I probably will get one here in the near future once I get my Hobie. What's up from Austin, Texas? I'm so happy I made it. Thanks for stopping by, William. That's awesome. Feed the dog. Cora's feeding the dog. Poor dog. She was hungry. I fed her right before. Cora fed her right before I started the stream. She just, whenever she gets even hungry, she just hits her bowl. SJ7000 camera is just as good as GoPro, at least from my experience. Never heard of that one. I'll look into it. What is the best redtail rod to put on the Concept A for redfish and trout? 7-foot medium fast action tip. That's what I pretty much have my A on. That's what I have my C on. I have my Inception on a 6.8 custom. I have my C on a 7-foot custom, and I have my A on a 7-foot regular Redtail production that you guys can get, or you can order a custom from them and get that too. But 7-foot medium is a great rod for the Concept A. Oh, Concept C, 7-foot medium again. He said Concept C, my bad. But yeah, Concept C, I have that on a custom 7-foot medium. But that's my favorite rod to throw, especially for redfish and trout, because it does everything. You know, if you want to cast longer, obviously get like a 7.6. If you want to be really accurate, go with like a 6.6 medium light. But yeah, 7-foot medium is what I put on that. Last son went out fishing, was tough, had to paddle 5 miles to only see 2 schools, only hook up 4. Suggesting good shrimp baits for sight fishing. My sight fishing lure is a Bugs lure. 1/8 ounce, 1/16 ounce, 3/8 ounce, but Bugs lure. They're tied like flies, but fished like lures. That is my sight casting lure, 100% every time. If I'm fishing schools and I'm seeing schools, that's what I'm going to be throwing at them, especially when they're shallow, in the marsh and everything. My wife wants to know how Cora goes pee when in the kayak. She actually doesn't. She refuses to. She will hold it as long as she possibly can until she gets to a bathroom. What's your favorite lure to throw at redfish? Top waters. I love throwing top waters, but again, if I'm sight fishing, I'm throwing it these Bugs. But I have a bunch of soft plastics and my top waters. Top waters is just the best thing that I can ever think of throwing at redfish. Alrighty guys, I think it's been an hour, so I think I'm gonna say goodbye here. If you're still in here, go ahead and hit that like button. It'd be much appreciated. Thank you guys for stopping by. Like button shows me that I can keep doing this and you guys are keep enjoying it. Thank you guys for stopping by the stream. Thank you guys for asking questions. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, go ahead and email me, redhuntertx@gmail.com. Ask them in the comment section below if you're not watching this live and you want to get some questions answered. And I'll say bye to you guys. Valentine, see you, man. See you, Damien. See you, Dylan. See you, Joe. Tyler, Tony, Christopher, Dylan, Hooked on Fishing, Chris, Free Spirit, Dustin. See you guys later. Appreciate you guys stopping by. John Garza, later, man. Tight lines. Alrighty, guys. I appreciate you guys stopping by again. And I will see you guys next time. Again, it's going to be in about a week and a half, probably like midweek next week, maybe Friday next week. So I'll follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll get the updates of when it'll be. Texas Redfish Hunter TV and Texas Redfish Hunter on Instagram. Alrighty, guys. Deer Slayer, see you later. Oscar, Tommy, take it easy, man. Hope you're enjoying your rod. Nate, see ya. Jonathan Cavazzo, see ya. William, later. Alrighty, guys. Adios.